Well, you would have to be of a certain vintage to remember names like Rodney Mullen and Ellen O'Neill of the skateboard world of the 70s and the 80s. My goodness, if you ever read a skateboard magazine and seen the pictures of Ellen Mullen on a skateboard or in a documentary, she was a work of wonder. She could skate 2 skateboards at once on the front wheels and the back wheels, slalom effortlessly in between the cola cans, handstand on a skateboard. She inspired a whole generation, along with Rodney and many others, to get out on the skateboards and have some fun. This is the neighborhood that I grew up in, and I spent so much time skating up and down this hill. We had so much time to spend over our summer having fun, and it was in that setting that this word entered my vocabulary: trust. Because we had to trust on those little plastic skateboards, we had to trust on the wheels, and we had to trust each other. We had an activity that we used to play. It was called a catamaran, where we got 2 skateboards side by side. One person sat on one skateboard, one sat on the other. We crossed legs, and together we would race down this hill. We had to trust one another, leaning in, leaning out. It was the time when trust entered our world. Sometimes we relied on it, sometimes it failed, sometimes the wheels failed, sometimes a friend let us down. Welcome to the world of trust. It's 1982, and that currency of trust is going to go to a whole new level, because on these little things you got some scrapes, some scratches, but now we're going to enter the territory of split heads and broken bones. 1982 was a great summer for Irish football, but it was a great summer when we caught on to a new craze coming from California. The skateboard was getting set down, and we were entering the world of the BMX. And with the BMX came a whole new list of names to learn, and a whole new era of superstars: Bob Harrow, Eddie Fiola, to name a few. And we were hooked on this thing. And with it, the currency of trust went to another level. Because you don't have to just ride these things, you need to fix them, you need to maintain them. You're learning new words: cranks, chains, pedals, rat traps. It's a whole new game, and the currency of trust is about to go up. And we're gonna build ramps, and we're gonna build bigger ramps. We had a half pipe. It was 10 feet tall in my friend's back garden. We just built it out of old timber. We built a ramp in my old primary school. It was a track, we called it the roller coaster. I split my head open. Johnny dislocated his knee, because when the currency of trust goes higher, the falls are greater too. And we had some disappointments in here, but we had a whole lot of fun. This is one of the things I learned as a young boy. The trust isn't just about putting your trust in bikes or skateboards, but trust is very important. In fact, it's crucial when it comes to relationships. If we're going to foster healthy relationships with others, friends, family, girlfriends, trust is very important. And it takes time to build trust up, but you can lose it very quickly. So trust is very important in relationships. That's going to bring me to our next little thought. So this time I am in Craigie Glen. It's a few minutes walk from my home. And another story. When I was a young boy, I went to this glen to play. Some older boys had built a swing from the high trees. They had tied on a blue rope and a little branch, and they encouraged us to swing out probably 30 feet above the river. Now, if you know anything about knots, there are 4 characteristics of a good knot. It has to be fit for purpose. It has to be easy to tie, easy to untie, and not damage the line. I think this knot failed on all of those characteristics. So you can imagine what happened. These guys said, trust us, it will be okay. And one of my friends swung out over the river. The knot failed, and he came down, and you can imagine the broken arm and the damage that was caused. Trust was broken. Trust was broken. Did we trust those boys again? Not a chance. And this is what happens with trust. We can build it up, but we can empty it very quickly. And the word trust is actually very closely associated with the word truth, because we don't trust in things that aren't truthful. And so one of the important things that I want to draw out of these stories and these moments is what things are truthful for you and what things do you put your trust in. Let's talk about the idea of God. Is God truthful? And is God someone that you can put your trust in? In the Psalms, in Psalm 20 verse 7, it says this: some will trust in chariots, some will trust in horses, but I will trust in the name of the Lord. David having full confidence that God would not disappoint him. And in fact, throughout all 66 books of the Bible, you will find story after story of people who put their trust in what they believe was truth, Jesus and God and the Trinity and the concept of God, and God never disappointed. The questions I want to leave you at the end is this: what is truth and what are you putting your trust in? Proverbs 3, 5 and 6 says this: trust in the Lord, trust in God in all your ways, lean not on your own understanding, and He will direct your paths. This moment is an invitation for you to discuss the things that you trust, the things that you believe are truthful, and to ask the question that Pilate asked Jesus: what is truth? And I want to suggest to you today, on my journey of 27 years as a Christian, that Jesus is everything that He claimed to be, that He is the way, He is the truth, He is the life. And I have found that I can put my trust in Him, and I invite you to do the same. A very famous passage of Scripture, I'm sure many of you will know it. John chapter 3 verse 16. And it says this: for God so loved the whole world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever believes in Him, I want you to lock that word in, believes in Him, should not perish but have everlasting life. The invitation for you and for I is to believe in Jesus. The Greek word there is pisteuo. It actually means the same as to put your trust in. And I want to say and challenge and encourage you today that you can put your trust in Jesus and He will not disappoint. Is there faith involved? Of course, and that same word believes, pisteuo, trust, also speaks of an invitation of faith. Today is a day of adventure. Today is a day of opportunity, and I invite you into the opportunity of a lifetime to understand that Jesus is truth, and you can put your trust in Him and He will not disappoint.